Hello and welcome, welcome back to my channel. Well, today's topic is marriage. But we're going to dive a little bit deeper on that topic of marriage. Let's chat, why don't we? So, when it comes to marriage, look, what do you guys think it comes with marriage? So, a lot of people come into marriage thinking, um, I'm a wife now, and this is my expectations of what a marriage should be. And if everybody has expectations, and honestly, there's nothing wrong with you having your expectations. Everyone have them. But I would love to give you guys some tips on before marriage, things that I would feel was going to be important for you first as a woman to think about if you're considering getting married or ever want to get married. I would have some tips that I would recommend for you guys. So, one of those is, are you prepared to be with that same person every day, every single day? Are you prepared to come home to that person, live with that person, sleep beside that person for the rest of your entire life? Are you even ready for that? Well, a lot of people don't talk about it. They just be like, yeah, I'm ready for marriage. But what if you guys are at odds? You have to sleep beside that person. Are you ready if you guys are not getting along? You're in the same room with that person, you're in the same house as that person. What does that look like? So, my recommendation would be for my beautiful queens is to have that conversation with yourself. Can I handle being, first of all, being around this person every single day for the rest of my life? What about if we're upset? I love him, but what about those times when I don't like him? Can I still be okay with being beside him? Am I still okay with sleeping beside him? When those times when I don't like him, what does that look like for you? Okay, because there are times when you are in a marriage where guys may be at odds, may have had a disagreement, and now I would recommend that you fix it before you go to sleep. No, okay, that's another story for another day. But that is something for you to recommend before marriage. I want you to consider, um, when you're thinking about the topic of marriage, are you wanting to be a stay-at-home wife? Do you not want to work outside the home? Are you okay with being a stay-at-home wife? What if your partner wants you to be a stay-at-home wife? Would that work for you? Are you able to give up your career to be a stay-at-home wife? That's something else you want to consider, because you never know, first of all, what God has in store for you, but you never know who God has in store. Your husband might say, I don't want my wife working outside of the home. Well, he might consider that for you and say, I want to retire you. Would you be okay with leaving your career and being at the house and now working from home, not working at home? That means as a housewife, you are doing, it's not easy, right? Don't think for one moment that it's easy. You're still having to do a whole lot of work because you're at home. So you're going to be the primary person for meals. You're the primary person for laundry. You're the primary person for the cleaning. You know, it's a whole lot that goes into being a stay-at-home wife. So if your partner says, no, I don't want you to work outside the house, is that, what would you say? Are you okay with that? Could you handle that? Those are going to be topics that you will want to have. So when God sends you your husband, or wife, if the husbands or men are watching this, God sends you your wife, that'll be something that you'll want to talk about. The next topic that a lot of people don't talk about is children. Do you want children? And it's okay if you do not. If you don't have a desire for children, it's also okay. But that'll be a topic for what you should think. And no one should persuade you into it. It should be your own thought process on children. Children are a hard work as well, right? What does that look like for you if you decide to become a mother? Would you work and while you're pregnant? What if you have complications while you're pregnant? What that might look like? What if you have a special needs child? What would that look like for you and your family? Those are things that you want to consider even before you even think about becoming pregnant. Those are those thought processes you want to think about that even comes along with being married. And of course, we talk about finances, right? That is something to consider, right? We want to consider our own finances. Are you able to take care of yourself? Do you have your own savings? Do you have your own money? I would recommend that every woman or man have your own. Have your own money set aside, have your own items, have your own home, have your own space. Even if it's just an apartment, have your own condo, have your own space, have your own car, have your own bank account, have your own. I'm not even going to go into, joining together. I'm just talking about for you and yourself. Have your own things as well. And consider what that might look like if you get married when it comes to finances. Are you okay with being the primary breadwinner? Or are you okay with that? Would your spouse be okay with you being the primary breadwinner? Would you be okay with your spouse as the primary breadwinner? What would that look like for you guys? Right? People talk about it, but not people sit down and have that conversation with their purpose, with their person, right? You want to have that conversation and talk about finances. Are we going to get a joint account together? Who's going to pay what? How is it going to get paid? How often is it going to get paid? Is it going to come out of my account, your account? Are we going to have money set aside for the children? How does this look like? What happens if something happens where I'm not able to provide finances? What would that look like for our family? Those are things you want to consider, okay? What if you don't have children and your better half do? What would that look like for a blended family? Would you be okay, my queen or my king, if you don't have children, but they do? How would that look like? What would discipline look like? What if your process on discipline is different from their process, right? Those are things you want to consider because it will affect your marriage. If you believe in disciplining your child and not allowing a child to run over you, and children don't have their way, and what if they don't have a discipline at all? They just let the children do whatever. Those are going to be topics that you'll want to discuss with your partner because it will definitely take a toll in the long run, okay? Would you be okay if they don't have a discipline? Would you be okay with somebody disciplining your child? And what would that look like? You should have a clear understanding before you say I do about what would our discipline for this blended family want to look like. Yes, this is not my child, but they are a child and they're a minor. So I do have authority as well in this home. And I have a way as well on what I think it was going to work best. So you will have to discuss that before you get married because it will make a big deal, okay? Consider that, my queens. Do not let that go. Don't let it go over your head, okay? I want you to consider their relationship. What is your relationship like with your family? How much influence does your family play in your life? Okay. Or your family come over anytime they want to? Do they influence your decisions? All of those things are things you want to consider. Because if you're being influenced by your family now, how would that look like once you get married? What would that look like once you get married? What if your partner's family influences them, or they listen to everything their family say, and you listen to everything your family say? What would that look like for you guys as a married unit moving forward? That'll be something you'll want to discuss. Because the Bible says that you cleave from your mother and your father, which means now you and your spouse is going to be one, which means my family, I used to try to, and I took their advice or they influenced me, should no longer influence me. His family should no longer influence him. It's us now. But we should have that agreement. You should also have that agreement with your family. Can you talk to your family and be like, listen, we're going to have to talk. I'm getting married and I'm going to be doing things a little bit different. I know I was open to you guys giving me suggestions and telling me how you think I should do things, but things are changing. And be okay with that change. Have that conversation. Let me tell you why. You get into a marriage and your family is influencing you, his family is influencing him, that will be a direct hit on your marriage. Okay, be careful with that. The next thing I want to talk about is health. Have you considered health before you even get married? What does your health look like? Or are you having any health issues? Would you need to be out of work for health issues? Would that change for us dietary for the family? What would that look like? I would suggest that if you do have health issues, since there's nothing wrong with that you be open and upfront with your spouse. They shouldn't find out later that you have different health issues. I think that should be something up front, because not only would that affect you, it's going to affect your home. And let your spouse be okay with you having those health issues and saying, I will love you through that. And I'll be here beside you through that. And what if your spouse have health issues? Are you okay with standing beside them? What if their sugar get low and have to sit down, or they have asthma? Are you okay with that? Not being able to go on the amusement parks and be able to go on different rides? What if they have a fear of heights, but you like climbing mountains? What if you have a pet snake and they're afraid of reptiles? All of those things are things you'll want to consider before you get married. These are just a few tips I want you to consider before you get married, my queens and kings. Of course, if you have any topics you'd like for me to touch on, definitely reach out. And I look forward to chatting with you soon. Have a great day.